Hey y'all, it's Jenny Moseley.
And Dr. Ryan Reeves.
And we are here live with the Elevate Effect. It's time to take the dental field to a whole nother level. Fly with me, folks. Let's get real and let's get uncomfortable. Well, hello there, everybody.
Hello. It's been a good day.
This is our favorite hour.
Favorite hour.
Week.
We're here. We're back.
No idea.
We're excited.
I know. I love
What's
it.
going on?
What's going on?
Lots going on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Today was your jam.
Today was fun.
Yeah. Why?
The office was calm. It was quiet. It was organized, and we followed the plan.
Doesn't that feel good?
I forgot what it felt like.
I'm sure. It's been a long road.
But in all seriousness, yeah, it was just a well executed day. It seemed like everybody knew what the plan was, and everybody's rowing together. Makes a difference.
Feels good. So we're in this routine of these meetings lately, just being about failing forward and service and all the things to be different in the dental community of practices, right? And constantly getting motivated by brilliant people of our past. And this week I have been motivated by Benjamin Franklin, which is interesting.
Benjamin Franklin said that beer was proof that God loves us.
And you know what he said? Beer has something, wine has something, and water has bacteria. It was brilliant. I was like, yeah.
He's got some good stuff.
He's a badass.
Yeah.
This is why we're talking about him today. Words may show a man's wit, but action shows his meaning. Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd love to dive into this because we wanted to talk a little bit more about service. Let's dive into that a little bit because we talked about service last week, and I think Ryan said something like, it's hard, or not hard. It's defining service in our industry can mean many different things. One, you're providing a service by just doing dentistry. And so how can we dive deeper into what true customer patient service is outside of the product you're giving them? And what we've coined it over the years is just true advocacy. And then still people don't understand that. So this quote for me says everything about service, because to me, I would rather have him said, words may show a man's wit, but action shows his character. To me, meaning comes from the character of the person that is actually acting on something. And if you look up character is the mental and moral qualities that make someone distinct. And so if you're honorable, if you have good integrity, if you're courageous, if you have loyalty, if you have all those things, then your actions will show it. So in service always has to be focused on you wanting to actually act out what character you want them to see you have. For example, a patient,
mm-hmm.
right? There's a patient that, let's say, you would prefer to have sedation.
Yeah.
Okay. And, the patient sedates and just doesn't like sedation. I mean, she just felt drunk. It just made her feel horrible. She did not enjoy it at all. And so, but she's not easy to work on. And so she has a big tongue and she moves, like human being things that you really can't stop. But I guess that is things
gagging is a challenge for her.
What?
Gagging.
Gagging, tongue movement, those kinds of things.
It's tough. It's tough. It's a tough thing to get through.
So she chose to not do sedation. And it was because what we do in this practice, and to us, what service is feedback. And we do something at the beginning and we ask them, what is it that you want to have something customized for your comfort? And then when they have that comfort visit, we say, was it everything that you expected? And if it wasn't, what do you want to change? And her one thing was, I really don't want to do sedation. I was drunk as all get up, and that makes me feel weird. And then she also had a horrible uh, experience with everything that we give and need for a good visit. She had a horrible experience with adjunct services wise, like medicine, steroids that made her get sick, and then the sedation. So we're thinking to ourselves, okay, well, all the comfort things you're taking out. So in a normal person's eye, service is her comfort, but you don't know what her comfort is. So you say, okay, what's your comfort? Is your comfort our comfort, or is your comfort a little bit of possibly us seeing you not comfortable to not put up with what you didn't like? And so to us, again, words may show a person's wit, but action shows his character. So what we do and how we act is should match what we say we're going to do. So when we say we want to be custom and we want to give a custom visit, and then we don't do it, or we whatever for it, then that's not service. So just an example. You know, fortitude. You know what fortitude is in definition?
I don't know what the actual definition
It is
is.
courage during pain or adversity. And so she reminded me her character of truly not wanting medicines certain way. She said, it's okay. I'd rather go through this right now than deal with what I dealt with last time of being completely drunk for an entire day. And so that to me is something that we have to listen to. And that's what makes us special, is because we listen to those things. We don't want to just have it comfortable for us. We don't want to just, make everything about us. We go through uncomfortable things so that their specific comfort is what we choose. Um, and we let them decide. And then, it was a rough morning. It was rough. Reeves coming in my office like every 20 minutes, taking his break and moment. But that's what the patient wanted. And for her, we might have felt like, damn, this could have been, to us, this is crap, right? Experience. But then to her, it was amazing, because to her, it was her comfort level. And so for us, again, you know, service has a lot to do with how you act out what you say you're going to do. And so we work on that a ton. And so in my research and looking, besides defining out the meaning of character, which is beautiful to me, because character is these integrity, honesty, courage, loyalty, and fortitude. Those are examples of a good, solid character. And your character makes up your mental and moral qualities. And so if someone says something and then they don't follow up and do it, then I would question their character. So here are the 5 key components to having the highest level of service in an industry. 1, people. You know the quote by Maya Angelou that always says, people, and I'm going to screw it up, obviously, because you know me, but it's not what you do. It's not what you do. It's not what you say. It's how you made them feel. Do you know that quote by Maya Angelou?
I've heard it
Something
from
like,
you before.
okay. So, and that is so incredible, because the first thing to having high service in an industry is about the people. And it's about how their perception is as to how your character led out your actions. And that's fascinating to me, because how do you know if you never ask? One of the biggest pieces in service is is asking your people, ask your patients, talk to them, understand how you made them feel. You may go into a room and think you're Don Johnson, or is Don Johnson? No,
Yeah, Don Juan. Don
Donnie
Johnson. I thought
Drapo.
that hit
Yeah,
for me because I was a big Miami Vice fan back in
of
the day.
course. That blazer with the t-shirt underneath and everything.
I mean, it's a look.
It is a look. Boom. Why did you do that?
That's not
Not you.
that's not one I can pull off.
Ooh, I just thought of a photo shoot for you. Ooh. Bing. Okay. Anyway, okay, so number one component is the people. So made the and then truly your patients have to tell you if something went well or not. It's really frustrating sometimes for me, and I don't know if anyone out there can hear it, but our profession loves before and afters. And it love them. Like, look what I did. Is this amazing? She looks so good. And that's great. But what really sells more is how she feels because of what you gave her, not what she used to have to what you gave her. That makes it about you. As much as you don't think it is, it is. If and this goes back to almost the sales process too. It's like you don't sell the product, you sell what the product is going to give the patient, and you sell that fulfillment. So high service was fascinating for me to find out that people's number one. That's incredible, because do we engage with our people to wonder from them what works? And that's the huge. I don't know. You have anything to say to that?
Anybody can have good character. I think that's something that, meaning,
Choice.
yeah, it's something that you have ultimate control over. I mean, how many things do we not have control over in our lives? Right. But I mean,
Mother
doing
Nature.
what you say you're going to do, right? I mean, that is something you've got ultimate control over. I mean, it's simple. I mean, it's not always easy, right? But I mean, it's like being on time to stuff to me. It's like, your time is not more valuable than anybody else's, or your, and because that's a lot. Oh, well, sorry. I know I said I was going to do this, but I ran out of time, or I got caught up doing X, Y, or Z, right?
Oh, you're going to love this. Don't ruin an apology with an excuse. Is
That
that
is good.
brilliant?
Yeah.
Like you just said, you're running late. You walk into a room and you go, I'm so sorry. I had another patient that was really taking long. That does not make up for the apology. You just say, I am so sorry. I am late for you.
Yeah.
Like you just said, it's like you have a choice. Everything you do, like the difference between what Ryan said and then what we just fixed as by saying, like your choice to choose integrity, honesty, courage, loyalty, fortitude. Your choice is to choose those things. And some of us choose to think that we're doing it, but it truly comes that the apology or whatever it is that they're saying they were going to do, being on time, whatever it is, becomes a reason for somebody else.
Hmm.
I mean, you hear that millions. I mean, in professions. I mean, you go to the doctor's office, you wait an hour. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we got really busy. The hell, that is not an apology.
Yeah.
So what we like to do, for example, let's be fair, patients only know how to act the way that you teach them. So, Pavlov's dog thingy, is that, like, did he, whatever, the biscuit, the
Yeah.
water,
We're
okay,
definitely training our patients for sure.
for sure, right?
Absolutely.
So, if you walk in a room and you say, hey, I'm sorry I'm late, I just, a couple patients ran late, you're telling the patient it's okay, I'm going to be late next time too.
Yeah.
So, like when a patient's late here, we say, well, I got to be honest with you. You have a couple options. I can do half of what I was going to do. I'm not going to run late with the person after you because we want to give them the full amount of time. Or you can actually come back at a different time. What do you choose? Stand for your convictions. It's a choice. But there's fear of the confrontation of it. There's fear that you're going to actually deliver what you promised. But again, like you said, it's a choice. Um, I'm working with an office that had a new patient appointment. And the new patient appointment in this kind of venue, custom practice, is 90 minutes. The patient was there like 3 hours, 3 hours. And they gave feedback because we like, listen, you promised that you would take advantage of my time, and you did. I'm out. That's small. I mean, it's crazy. The fact that you could have probably given them the best dentistry possible didn't matter at that point because you already took away what was important to her. And that means that your actions weren't covering, we're not, like I said, words. We had a bunch of words and then they come in and you don't act on it. It's gone. The trust is over at that point. Or on the flip side, you have a consult and you're an office that likes to do complex things and you have a consult for 90 minutes and by the end they're like, you could have told me that in 5 minutes. So what? I don't have a lot going on. I guess I don't need you guys. Could you have just told me that at the beginning? I would have been somewhere else. So, it's like there's just so much that happens that people blame the system or they blame this is hard or this is this. Remember we talked about that,
Yeah.
but but it could just be this exact quote is that it could be failing because you're not acting on what you say. Listen to your people. Demand feedback at the end. Demand feedback because if they don't get feedback, I'm calling the patients and asking them for feedback and saying, how did we do? What's going on? What's wrong? Everyone. And so our practice gets it from everybody. And so we always know how to be better and what to do better. And I mean, we've heard that our practice can be loud because the rooms are kind of like very open. And so, when that person comes back, we try to make sure it's quiet. I mean, there's just things that are a success for each individual and you don't know it unless you ask. So that's the second one is training. It's incredible how service can be at the highest level when you have a team that is fully trained because when they're trained they're confident and when they're confident they exude um, a stature to the people. And so lack of confidence can come across so horrible. And so take the time to train your people. It creates a consistency. Um, I mean, Monday's our next training day. We close the office down. It's very important for us. I mean, do you know how numbing it is to do these things? I mean, I've been doing this so long. These are my worst. This is my favorite
How
hour.
long?
You're an asshole. 5 years times 4.5. Okay. But we train over, like, this is my favorite hour. Monday's my least favorite day. Isn't that horrible? It's horrible. I know.
Wait,
Motivate
why?
me.
Well, let's talk about more about why Monday is your least favorite day. Is it every Monday or is it training
I'm
Mondays?
sorry. Training day.
Okay, yeah,
I
you are not clear
apologize.
about that.
I am so sorry.
Because see, I could see Monday being your least favorite day for a different reason.
Okay. No, the training day.
How many times do you all come into your office after a, a good week of training? Like we now have our training on Mondays, not on Fridays, because we'd have our training Fridays. It would be amazing. We'd have the weekend. We'd come back Monday, and nobody. It's like you didn't have the training. The beauty of having it on Mondays is you can reinforce that for the next several days, and hopefully some of it sticks. Truly sticks.
That's been the hope
Yes.
that we switch the day so then it could be like hot and heavy and you come back strong. Well, though I live in the learning of trying to be a really good leader because, and I believe in responsibility. So when they come back sucky, I'm like, okay, I sucked. It is so, I am not a teacher. Um, and it's very difficult to teach something that has a lot of emotion in it, has a lot of scenarios in it. Um, and when you're trying to teach a system to somebody and there's this constant questioning of scenarios, it's very difficult to navigate around that. um, but I do believe that training is still very crucial. I think it's a reset. It gives people the ability to ask questions and find their purpose. It's just for me, um, very, very, very difficult. But I got to do difficult things. So
Yeah.
But that was the second thing. So it's interesting how, the people is number one, and then training your team is number two. And then the third one was system. I mean, all five of these things we have. It's fascinating. I was just really, it's incredible because we do either way. This third one is systems and protocol. Service is not what you do, it's why you do it. I mean, we've been talking about that for a long time. And so if you have a system and this and there's a process that your people and your patients sit in, then however they go through it with purpose. And it's fascinating to me that the dental field, a lot of people and a lot of practices don't have systems. And and I wouldn't even know how to survive, but I'm trying to think of it. For example,
Well, without systems, you can't have consistency, and not having consistency is death. I mean,
you would think, yes,
well, it is.
yes, a lot of them, or they think they have one. I mean, a system is something that's written, right? Okay, written, and then it's also, I mean, if a patient is walking through a process, they can tell. I mean, you can tell, let's say you go wherever you go. Like even if you're buying a house, you're buying a car, you can tell the places that are taking you through a process versus the ones that are not. And you tend to not typically buy from the ones that feel very unorganized, don't know what the hell they're doing, have no process whatsoever. Like even a realtor, when all of a sudden you're just like, what are you doing? You don't even know what we want, right? So that's how patients trust you. Patients feel a why behind it if they feel like they're in a process. So I wonder if people really understand that your system has to be able to be written down, and then it has to actually be consistent, and then you have to actually do it, and then you can make it your own. And so I just wonder how many people really have that. It was really fascinating that was the third component of high service. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Um, so you have the first one is the people, make sure, remember, they will only remember you by how you feel. They won't remember you by your teeth. They're not going to tell everybody they spent a bunch of money on their mouth. They're going to say, oh my gosh, they were like, you know what I mean. Okay, then you got to train your team, and then you got to make sure you have protocols. I mean, train your patients like you train your employees, have protocols in place. The next one is communication. I mean, we're numbingly, I think a lot of people come here when they work here and they'll say, they speak really weird. And you're like, yeah, I mean, to us, having a very unique communication style makes patients see us differently. And different is to them better because what they already had five times over at five different places is the same. And so when they come here and they see our language different, they like again, like, come on, it's just a crown. Why can't you just say crown? Isn't that just a crown? Isn't it a cap? Cap? Isn't it a cap and a crown? Seriously, it's what they say, and you're just like, no. It is just it's not the same damn thing. It's not. Period. End of story. But and it's really cool. Listen to this. I got my notes here. How you think about your patient influences how you respond to them. And so we had a conversation earlier this morning about, moves we're trying to make to have us become this again.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those things is some people and treat some providers treat patients differently dependent on what they think of them. And that is that's the number 4 killer of service. Does that blow your mind?
Uh, yeah. I mean, it blows my mind that that happens. It doesn't blow my mind that that's a killer of service.
Oh, yeah, you're okay.
Yeah.
Great clarification. So I must try to say it again.
No, no, you said it right. I think it's just the way I was thinking.
Well, a lot of people think more like you than me. So they're all, or the two of them are going, what the hell did she just say? Okay. But how you think about your patient influences how you respond to them and then how they also receive you. So it's like, okay, I was talking to my new patient coordinator today, and she comes in the office and says something about the patient that was out in the hallway. And I said, well, Lord have mercy. Are we judging? And she said, my goodness, I am. And I said, now, why would you do such a thing? And she said,
You did not speak like that.
okay, I'm sorry. You're right.
No, that's fine.
I
Man, that
was
was
like,
awfully
you
proper.
dickhead. I mean, what is wrong? Who do you think you are? And she's like, oh my gosh, you're right. Well, they're going to do for a four-tooth smile makeover. And I said, okay, so what's your punishment? What's your punishment for prejudging? Because guess what? The fact that you came in and told me and I cut it out of your head is why they received you better. Because if you would have went in there like this quote just says, they would have received that from you. You
Yeah.
cannot do that, folks. Who did that? And by the way, who do you think you are? Like, it's so sad to me that, I mean, I would pray to God that God bless you. You're so good looking.
So
Ooh,
close.
good one.
Oh, so close.
So close. He almost just threw up. No, I'm just kidding.
I wanted to sneeze so
Yeah.
bad, but
But I mean, you know, so then I said, what's your punishment? And she said, I don't know, you pick it. I said, you'll juice for a day. And she weighs like 4 pounds, so she'll probably die of starvation. But I said, you're going to juice, and I'm going to make the juices, and they're going to be all beet and green juice just so she can deal with.
You can commiserate with her, or she can commiserate with you.
I mean, I just was really upsetting. I thought, well, perfect. And I said, by the way, guess what I'm writing right now? And so, you know, everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
A few beauty things of theirs, that one, even though she knows how icky that makes me feel, she still came in and was honest about it. And that is a person that wants to grow, because she knows that I would fix it, because I, you know, like I would be the leader to her to go, what are you doing? And so, you know, hopefully you have that somewhere in your practice where, you know, team members aren't always going to think like us as leaders and owners. And so if they don't feel like they can come to you and you can fix the way that they're thinking or making decisions, then the system you think you have is gone, because they're going to make their own. Then that's going to be the new system. And then before you know it, you have zero, which has happened to us.
So you got me thinking about this, you know, the judging, and I was thinking about our practice and something that I'm proud about our practice, and maybe a misconception about our practice that other people don't realize that they have in their own practices, or maybe they've weeded out of their own practices, not realizing it. And that is, you know, just because somebody's got a nice car doesn't mean they value dentistry or their mouth. Or I mean, we see the full gamut. I mean, the full gamut of humans come through this door. What they all have in common is that, well, what 90% of them have in common is a high dental value. And
High priority for dental health.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's pretty cool. And some might, so I think, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing, because like in a practice that came from before, it was basically served middle class people, what I would call middle class.
Your old practice?
Yeah, my old practice.
What is that?
What is what?
You said what I consider middle class.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, is I'm not necessarily defining it in parameters. Just people that you'd think, people that don't have.
They work hard for what they got.
Yeah, I mean, they're well educated. They've most of them have, the spouse doesn't work, or if it does, it's a choice. It's not a need. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. A lot of those people, yeah, I mean, they want to be healthy, I mean, their version of healthy, but they weren't, you know, they
knocking
were
your door down to do this stuff.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, you know, it's I don't know. I'm not. Maybe you can help me out, because
Okay,
I'm
let
stumbling
me
around
see
here.
if I
But
can help. So, and cut me off. Well, I don't know why I'm just telling you that, because, duh. Oh, that was an odd moment. Okay. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Okay. Go back to systems.
Yeah.
So deep down, I don't believe you all had a clear cut systematic process in there that allowed patients to actually walk through and see that for themselves. I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
right. So that's beautiful as to why you brought it up, because you had a great running practice, lucrative, I'm sure. I mean, and but you're mentioning something it didn't have,
Mm-hmm.
and that's connected to me is more of the why, the system, the protocols, the leading of the patient, the communication style, all of the stuff that we consistently never waver from. It's like you could have back in the day, you were doing some neuromuscular, but was the rest of the place, or you were doing this. And, it's just like there's a consistent, systematic style of communication in our practice that never wavers.
Yeah.
And as hard as it is, for, like I said, the cap and the crown conversation, because you'll say, so what is it that you're going to do? Well, we're going to put new tops on your teeth. Like, what does that mean? Well, you have a top on it now, and we're going to put a different one on. Okay. And it's made of ceramic. So it's, bonded on, but it's going to look just like your tooth. It's just going to be better. And that's literally how we speak. It is not a bunch of crowns. So if you want to be a bunch of crowns, go for it. That's not who we are. And that is beautiful. I'm telling you, this is who we are. And it feels so good to say we are this. It's not going to be hard to get it back, because everything I've been reading during these researching of this beautiful hour of my week, my favorite hour, is just showing that we have the goods. We just we needed ourselves to see where the goods weren't. And so that was hard, and it took us away from a lot of our goods, and it
Mm-hmm.
feels good to get it back. But I believe that the style of communication and the system, their lack of, is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, we are seeing people that never thought in the wildest dreams to come to this practice before,
Yeah.
ever. And the people that are choosing to do $30,000-$40,000 of smiles and stuff are people that are, I mean, they are taking themselves years to save up and come back for us. And if we say we're going to do something, we better damn well do it. And it's just amazing that this is why they say yes. And then you go back up to, well, then the actions could destroy all of it in seconds. And so we will fix that.
Yeah.
Like, because we're there now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're okay to be like, look.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The last one, which I thought was really cool. Product. Okay. It's so hard to read and have your mouth on. Whoa. Oh, geez. Golly. Product. Quality and service is not what you put out, it's what the patient gets out of it. Okay. So, like, again, we sell a life change, and then you go and you put a before and after out there. Do you know how much you've just ruined the concept of selling a life change by now someone going, oh, how much was that? What's wrong with putting this person out there and going, they changed my life? I mean, what the hell is up with the world and the before and afters? Because everyone's going to shop around and go, how'd you do that tummy tuck? How'd you do it? How much is it? 20 grand? What do you do? Okay. No, it's like, I mean, don't you want to be able to just do, I mean, again, the style of communication. It's why we're really like honing in on like branding and doing marketing in such a different way. I mean, everybody around the corner is doing everything now. Implants, everyone's doing, prosthetics, everyone's doing, everybody's doing everything. And so they're going to just shop around and shop around and shop around. So you have to actually say something different, which we're trying to do, but then you actually have to have meaning behind it, and your character has to follow it. So the neat part about this for me was the quality in service, because we're talking about service, okay, is not is not what you put out. Okay? It's not the it's not the veneers, the beautiful white veneers. It's not any of that. It's what they received from it, because that's what we sell. We sell the benefit. So why would we then try to sell the product? It just doesn't even make sense to me. For example, folks, Ryan. Ryan is just an interesting.
Oh gosh.
Well, when I first met Ryan, we did not like each other. Well, actually, did we? No, we fought. We fought very, very hard. I mean, well, okay, you're right. Like was not wrong. We are very, as you can see now, we are very, very passionate people. And he's coming from a place, and I was coming up from a place of passion, and we weren't aligned at the beginning. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have such now a style of communication so opposite of mine, and that was difficult for us. And so, but when I first met him, I don't know why I said that. Just to clear it up.
I don't know where we're going with this. So.
But when I first met him, I saw a package. Oh my God, that's
fun. You can't make this stuff up.
Oh, that is, I just got red. Okay, whoa. I did not see that package. Why do I always get myself stuck with a foot up my, is it in your mouth? What's that saying?
Foot in the mouth, yeah.
Yeah, I just got it.
Foot in the mouth.
Sorry. I saw a package, or a package of a person. And it was a package of a person that I believed is somewhat of what people receive from our office. And so, you know, if you imagine this, you wake up in the morning and most humans, they tend to make themselves appear as though how they are on the inside. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't mind walking around with nightgowns and slippers, and which is fine, I'm saying, but to them, that's obviously how they either want to be perceived or feel. They're comfy people, they're whatever that is. And there's a specificness to what I believe we were doing as dentistry, but we weren't doing enough of. And to me, that is, you exude something that is true to heart. You don't just do it to show people something. You don't just do it to act a way, and then, you know, it's like you ever work with somebody and then you see them outside of work and you're like, whoa, what the hell? That is ridiculous. I mean, shave. Right? So you exuded to me what we did in dentistry, which was just how do I say this? And the point of what I'm trying to get at is just the marketing piece as to why we now hone in on connecting to people by people, because that we have so many walks of life coming in here that we would have never had before. And I think it's because we're connecting people to people, and we're using words that connect to people, not their pockets. And I think if you feel like you're like Orion, where you're a consistent message wherever you go, I feel like I'm that way, and that's probably why we are together. I mean, I can't get my husband can't get me to take a day off of anything, even on vacation. I mean, I'm carrying my weights in the car and my yoga mats because I got to do my exercise, right? So when you're a walking consistency, how could you not let patients understand that? Because that's what they want for themselves. And so I think a struggle here for so long was we were selling a product and we weren't it. And that was so hard to be a part of, because we were only it here.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
It's hard to expand on it.
Extremely.
Could you connect it maybe to where your old office was? That's still hard. Because, like you said, why people actually now come here and spend the money on what you can give them as an end result as to why they wouldn't before. It's not just the magic of TV or whatever, it's messaging and communication style. So, how can you expand on that? Success seems to be largely a matter of hanging on after others let go.
Anytime you try and be something you're not, it's gonna show, and it's not gonna work. And I think the people that are the most successful in life, the people that I seem to gravitate towards, are they're just their realist self. And I don't mean real like I'm rude and I've got opinions, so I'm just gonna be rude and opinionated.
Thank you for saying that. Right.
I,
Perfect.
I just mean they've got an inner belief or core strength, and they want to live that in everything that they do and that they're around.
So, hear me out. Dentist out there, if any of you guys even care to listen, it's shocking that you wouldn't be. It just shocks me if any of them don't, because we're sitting here spilling our guts out in this small little community for all of us to be better. So hopefully one of you starts to damn listen, and maybe say something to us like F off. I don't know. But what Ryan just said, do you really understand? If you think that same way, people need to know that, because you know how many times you see a patient that went somewhere else and has something bad to say about that other place. Okay, it's not often that they say that the dental plan wasn't up to par. It's like they treated me really bad. They talked to me like I was a jerk. They made me wait, whatever. I mean, and then because of all of that, the dentistry sucks and it's failing, so they suck. But most of the assessment is how they're treated. If you have, I mean, we've had to redo dentistry, and so I mean, it's not like you guys suck. It's it's because, again, everything around the dentistry is more important than the dentistry. So why aren't we marketing that? That's what I've never understood. We focus so much on dentistry, and then we wonder why people shop around, or why they're trying to get a discount or whatever it is. If you want them to know that you speak differently, then speak differently out there. So, like you just said, Ryan, like there's not a lot of people, or dentists, let's just say, or even dental people, that are consistent in life and choices and clothing, and I mean just everything about them. And it's frustrating because you and I could tend to be people that people don't like, because it's like, what's he got to wear a bow tie for? I'm not getting dressed up like a bow tie or whatever. And it's like, it's not about him getting dressed up with a bow tie, assholes. It's about Ryan feeling good about what makes him be him. And I don't know how to describe it. Am I just, like, it's just it's frustrating, because here's the thing: the people that wear scrubs, okay, you wear a scrub because that's what it's told to you in the dental world, is to wear a scrub. That's why you wear it.
Or you want to feel like a doctor.
Or you want to feel like you're. And when you wear a scrub to the store, people are like, oh, look at the doctor.
That's a reason not to wear a scrub.
There you go. But
Or are
truly, I
you a
mean,
doctor? No, I'm a dentist. I'm a dentist.
I didn't say it.
No, I said it. I
I
said it.
love it. It's true.
Yeah. No, I know
Yeah,
it's true. That's why I said it.
brilliant. But seriously, the scrub scenario. So, or if it's like you wear, and again, I'm not saying anything against scrubs, but I don't see in a scrub on the weekend. I don't see in a scrub anywhere else. Why can't you just go in and be you? Wear a nightgown if you're a slob at home. Tell them who you really are. I mean, but again, okay, back to the purpose. The purpose of today was that we want to ignite something in you that helps you develop a higher service in your practice. And part of that comes from what is the true meaning of what you want patients to think about you, and what is your character, what are your mental and moral qualities that makes you distinct. Know those, and if they're of good ones, then act on it. And if you act on it and you do these 5 things, then you should have a practice running with high service. Make it about the people. Find out how they feel when you have interactions with them. Ask them, did you have a good experience? You can't just say, oh, you look beautiful. Your smile looks beautiful. Everybody's smile looks beautiful in the notes.
So a huge thing that we all get caught up in, okay, we've got all these systems and we got to follow them and we got to hit these numbers and we've got this many days, and these are all important things. Unfortunately, when you're caught up in all that, and you're worried about checking these boxes in your systems, you get off track of, listen, there's a human, and we just care about human people. I mean, that's a part of service that people, it's like, oh, well, I'm doing this because it's policy. Well, our policy is to provide pillows and bake cookies or whatever, not the reason behind it or the thought behind it. I mean, it's about the people, and all the service stuff is just about how they're feeling. They're coming into a uncomfortable situation, showing their private parts, essentially, right? Their mouths, that they're already ashamed of. I mean, in our practice, people come to us who need help, not who need cleanings. And now we get calls for cleanings because that's what patients are trained to call for. And I'm not saying you screen those out. That's a conversation to have to find out if if we're a good fit for them. But coming back to just truly being a people person and caring about people, it all for me stems from that. And your, Jenny, your ability to see the beauty in people is why you can connect with people, because you truly see it. It's not an act. Now, do you ramp things up to kind of do a thing or create a feeling? Yeah, but do you have those? I mean, it comes from an honest place and an honest connection, and because that is a real connection, you get the response you get, and you can amplify that by doing things around it. But it comes back to, it's not just another person and another number in front of you. And whether you're a dentist or a hostess or greeter or a lab tech or a new patient coordinator, well, definitely a new patient coordinator. But I mean, my point is, there isn't a position in a practice like this that will survive if you don't truly care about people. You can be selfish and still care about people.
Yes.
And we've had people, because I am one of those. I am very selfish, but I also care about people. We have had people in this practice that were selfish people and didn't care about people. And there is a difference.
Yes.
And those people don't do well here.
Well, you go back to the other one where it's um whoa, I just had a complete brain F. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Uh
We're talking about service.
you said people care about people.
I said,
We've had people that have been selfish but not cared about people, and there is a difference.
yeah,
Okay, so there was another part of the 5 components of having a high service, high profitable business. The other one about the people thing is also your member service. I'm sorry, how you think about the patient, about the person in front of you, is how you will respond to them and how they will then perceive you. You can go in there all you want and try to fake it, people. But if you have, like he just said, if you're a selfish person and not a people person, they are going to read right through you. You can say all you want, and you can put out there that they're happy people and they're happy with you and they love their results and they're beautiful veneers. But deep down at the end of the day, they saw right through you and they know your true character. So if you have if you have bad thoughts about somebody, you got to go to somebody in your practice and talk about it and work through it, because there's no way that they're not going to read it.
Okay, people are way more perceptive than we give them credit for.
Hell yeah.
I mean, there are people that can see auras. I mean, and really, I mean, truly feel. And I know there's the easy energy to feel, like anybody can feel, oh wow, this feels tense in here. But then there's just almost imperceptible energy
Oh,
shifts.
there it goes.
What?
Big words, man.
Oh,
So attractive, your big words.
and you don't know who's who, so you just got to assume everybody's everybody.
Or like you just said, just be a good person inside.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the easy
But
way to
again,
go.
remember, go back to this. If you feel like you have it, like, you know how some people are really good on TV?
Mm-hmm.
They can just say a bunch of stuff that's great. They don't do it in one take. They don't even have to practice. Those typically are the people that don't act on it, because it's hard to say something when you know you don't do it. So, like, for example, if you and I mean, we're recording something, we're sitting here going, oh God, I really want to get this out right, because whatever I say, I want to be able to do. People that don't care about doing, they're just like, yeah, blah, 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 yeah, blah, 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 blah. I mean, you all know them, car salesmen that are sharks, the lawyers out there, like, one call, that's all, those kinds of things. Like, you only get paid if we get paid, and all this stuff. It's like, are you serious? Really? It's like those people that are so quick to be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And now you can have a natural ability, but then there are true things you've got to be scared of. You've got to be scared of those people, like the patients. You have a patient in your room, you're going, oh, yeah, this is great. Oh, money's no object. I got it. I got no budget. You're good.
Yeah, never. Yeah,
Never.
that's horseshit.
So that's kind of what we're saying is question your patients, because if they're really happy, they're lying. Think of it that way. That's how we think. Because I'm like, you can't be that happy, come into a
Yeah,
dental office. What about the traffic? Can you complain about the traffic?
right.
Complain about something. We want them to complain so bad, because to us, we want to act every day. And so if we're not acting on what we say, then we're not telling the truth. So we got to get them to say something so we can change it. Now, if they say the traffic, I go, well, I can't change that, but I can change the time you come. You want to come at a different time that has different traffic? You see how that is? That's acting on something. Create for them to say something. Trust me. And try as hard as you can to not just put out there a bunch of pretty smiles. Trust me, if you want to be the place that leaves a mark in the dental society that's getting very small, there's not many of us left. So why not be great? What is that? I sent a text to one of my guys out there. The guys, the guy zone is getting smaller, which is totally fine, because it's finally getting real. Because the ones that really can't do it should have never been in the circle anyway. Ding. But I sent a quote and I said, by my good old Ziggy, I swear, if Ziegler was alive, I wonder what would have happened if I would have. There's a couple older men. There's one of our patients, and I'm just like, rrr. And I mean, it's like, yeah, like Zig. Everyone's like Zig, and you're like, yeah, because you know what? You were designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and empowered with the seeds of greatness.
That is a great quote.
It is an incredible quote.
Yeah.
So why not be that? Be that. Listen to the podcast, call us, send us messages, and be the great ones. That's what we're trying to do. You want to just be one of the run of the mills? Remember, don't ruin, few quotes, don't ruin an apology with an excuse. We are living in that hell right now. Apology is just an apology. Just say, I'm sorry, I screwed up.
What's really funny about that is I was running 3 minutes late to the practice yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before.
Was it my fault?
No.
Okay, because typically it is.
And
Soccer practice for his kid, by the way.
no. To the practice.
Oh, ours.
Yeah,
Oh,
coming
I'm
in.
so sorry.
Yeah,
That isn't my
coming in.
fault. I
So
apologize.
I get here 30 minutes before my first patient, and I got here at 7:33. But coming
You
here,
loser.
I thought I was going to be a little later. I thought it was going to be like 7:35, 7:37, later than I want to come in. And when I come in, you all are meeting, and that's not a good look. I'm just not. It's not something I enjoy doing. Anyway, so the text I started typing while I was driving, which was a horrible idea, is I'm gonna be 5 minutes late, and then and then text why, and then I just deleted it. I'm like, I should just tell her I'm gonna be late, and not tell her why. And then I ended up, and then I just deleted it and didn't even send it.
Well, but I just got chills.
But I was like, you know what? Because I just thought it doesn't matter why
Doesn't
I'm
matter
late.
why.
I'm
It is
late.
what it is.
It is. It's
Because here's the thing. What's really interesting. If somebody truly, the people also that have good character will look at your apology with just the apology. The people with good character will look at your apology with the excuse as the excuse. And so the people with bad character will literally look at your apology with the excuse as the apology. Did you understand what I just said?
Say it one more time.
The people with good character will see your apology. It's just your apology.
Yep, I got that part.
Right. The person with good character will see your apology that you put with an excuse as the excuse.
Mm.
The person with bad character will see the excuse, the apology with the excuse as the apology.
Mm.
So put out just the apology, because the one with good character you will find as their response.
Gotcha.
And so that's what we do with patients, for example. And I'm trying to teach Jordan even in the sales room. It's like, if you've got a person and they're going through a process and they say no to you for some reason after they say yes, and you got to think to yourself right away, what the hell did I do wrong? Okay. And when you find that out, you don't give it reason. You go, what did I do? And they typically will say something like, well, no, it wasn't you, it was me. No. It definitely was not you. It was me. I need to know what it is so I can fix it. And so a lot of times people will tend to say, I'm so sorry. I just, it's like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't want to like push you, but I didn't want to do this. And you're just like, do you realize you're now making it their fault?
Mm.
So a person with good character that matches our practice as a patient with good character. You got the two of you, I'm the salesperson, you're the patient. If both of us are in the good character mode and you're a patient of us, they take my apology into a yes.
Mm.
She saw it. It's your patient Monday.
What were you apologizing for? Or what was the...
Okay, you want to go through it?
Yeah, I mean...
You have time? Are you going to exercise?
I am. I've also got some other things in the docket.
4 minute? Oh.
But I want to hear it.
What you got going on?
We started late, so let's...
4 minutes. I'll just do this and we can end. And again, remember, we went through a lot of stuff today, so I feel like, but this is all about character, service. And biggest thing in that is always falling on your sword. And you don't fall on your sword by giving a reason. You just do it. Just do it, because the person that has good character will literally just see that. So, our consults are very overwhelming. And I do it a certain way. And after I leave a room, a patient's typically spinning, right? Their head is just like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
To be able to wrap something up after that scenario is not easy. It typically would be me, but it is not. So what happened is a patient can go, oh my gosh, wait, I can't do this. The hell? Because they have no proof at home of nothing. It's like, they're like, I just made an appointment for 4 hours and I'm going to spend $35,000. Wait, what? What the hell am I going to do? And they start spinning. Like, I don't even know what's going on. What are we doing? How do we do it? And it's like, you know what? I don't want to do this. I'm not ready. And instead of trying to say, well, wait a second, you've got bone loss, you're going to lose your teeth, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that. You just go, you know what? I'm really sorry. I failed you. What do you mean? Well, you're saying no to yourself, and I was a part of it. So obviously, this is my fault. I don't think it's your fault. No, no, no. It is. Trust me. Well, what do we do now? Well, would you allow me to make it up to you? Sure. What questions were you asking yourself when you wanted to back out? Well, I'm like, were they going to pull my teeth out? Were they going to put implants? What are they going to do? I'm just so confused. It's overwhelming. And you go, do you see? That's all my fault. So why don't you just come in and let us answer all those questions? Great. Otherwise, it's, well, wait a second. You told me that you wanted to save your teeth. And what are you going to do now? You're going to lose all your teeth. It's like people tend to go into the convincing mode in November. Ding. It's the art of the close. That's the basic name of the weekend.
Yeah.
And it's funny. People are always saying, what do you do? What do you say in a close? What do you do? And it's like, truly, it's always happening. It's happening in the way they call you. It's always happening. So the art really isn't in the end. The art is in the beginning, the middle, and if you're spot on with those in doing these things we just went over, then the art really is already done. You're just like, it's just like the masterpiece is there. You're just putting a final finish on it. And so the beauty of that is the emotional conversation that she just felt is in for her insides closed herself to go, okay, that's the beauty of staying in this mode all the time, not staying with greed and money, because not going, oh my God, they're going to kill me. I just lost $30,000. It's constantly going, oh my God, I just lost a human body that we could have helped. We lost. What the hell? And so words may show a man's wit, but action shows his meaning. I'm really proud to be in this with you, buddy. It's my favorite hour of the week. I know it sounds like we're weirdos, but I just truly do. I mean, we look forward to it. It's like our favorite day.
It's been good.
All right. Have a good workout. See you, folks.
Later.